It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the Morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Did I say Minnesota? Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. And when I think of Minnesota, I think of a lot of the great music that made me want to be here for decades before I did. And that includes, of course, the great Hüsker Dü. In studio right now, Greg Norton has stopped by along with Mr. Ryder from down in the valley to discuss a few things. The Hüsker Dü box set, but more immediately tonight at 7 p.m. at Grumpy's Northeast, a good old get-together where we're going to be where Greg will be DJing, a Q&A and a DJ set from Greg Norton, another DJ set from Lori Barbero of Babes in Toyland, and then we can talk all about this box set, and we can talk all about all things Greg Norton. Gentlemen, welcome both to the show.
Hey, Steve, it's an honor to be on the air with you.
Greg, it's an honor to be on the air with you. When I was still a kid wishing I could play drums, your band meant a whole lot to me and was one of the bands that kept me up at night because I was like, they're doing it. Why aren't I?
Yeah, I heard some stories about the early days of your musical career. I just got out of the studio with John Fields.
Oh, okay, great. Mm-hmm. John Fields is a producer in town, made 6 million records. And a bit of a bon vivant himself. I don't know how long I go back with John, but back in the 80s, long before I knew about him, you guys were one of the bands, and not just me, but I knew my entire generation, that is to say kids who were in college in the mid-'80s, looked to a handful of North Stars. When you were first putting together Hüsker Dü, could you ever have imagined all these years later somebody would be saying these words to you? Oh, my God, every musician I know loved your band.
If you would have told us that, we would have been like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You're full of it.
Right.
You know?
Well,
we definitely didn't feel like we were making history.
And you certainly didn't feel like you were a box set band, but that is exactly what you are. Mm-hmm. This new box set, a 4 LP edition, is an entire gig from January 30th, 1985, which I've heard people reference. It was a very important show to the people who were there, I guess, in the way myths get built around certain gigs. But take me back to that day, long before you were thinking of anything other than the gig that night. Do you remember? Is this something that is burned into your memory as a specific gig that was special for any reason? Yeah,
it definitely was special for us. We started playing out in the Entry and when the Entry first opened up in 80 and then started making like little cameos on the big stage. And then, we got to open up for Wayne Kramer's Gang Wars at one point. Mm-hmm. But to get to this point in January 30th, 85, we sold out 2 shows. We played 2 shows that day. So from going just this scrappy little band that was always at First Ave to get to a point where we sold out 2 shows in the big room. That was was a crowning achievement for sure.
It's pretty fantastic. Hüsker Dü's Greg Norton is in studio with us, Gorman in the Morning, along with Mr. Ryder from down in the valley. This box set, 1985, The Miracle Year. Stephen, I'll ask you, as box sets go, you are a guy who goes through them all and takes these things very seriously. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, Numero Group always does a really good job, and this is the first Hüsker Dü one came out, I think, 2016. Mm-hmm. Does that sound right?
16 or 17. Yep.
It's all a blur, but that one is really cool, and that was all early stuff, like pre-SST stuff, and I think this one is, 85 was such a great year for Hüsker Dü. 2 records.
Stephen, how does it smell? I know that's the number one thing that
smells great.
Do.
The booklet smells great.
You open up a box set at home, and then he takes a giant whiff.
Well, we are broadcasting in smell-o-vision. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Can I get a whiff of one of them? Just so I know.
I brought it in for visual purposes, because that makes sense on the radio.
We appreciate anything to alter the normal smell of the studio is greatly appreciated.
So we talked about getting a quarter pounder and leaving it in here for 30 years. I think this smells better.
Yes, it does.
Greg Norton's in studio with us. If you have any questions for Greg, 651-989-ROCK. I know a few have come in, Paul. What was the one you wanted to ask?
We've got one from Mike asking if Greg is still a chef, and if so, where?
Well, I am no longer a chef. I actually got out of the chefing business in 2010, so it's been 15 years. But, that was getting out of that got me back into music full-time, and so now I'm just a full-time punk rock bass player.
Well, hell yeah.
Which is a dream.
I love how he just put just a full-time punk rock bass player.
That's
just.
Yeah.
Where was the restaurant?
My restaurant was in Red Wing, Minnesota, where I've resided for over 40 years.
That's awesome. I love that.
That is awesome. Nothing like leaving the world of rock bands, which is just pure harmony and unity at all times, and going into the kitchen, which is also unity and harmony at all times.
Yep.
What's more chaotic?
Wow, that's a good question.
Depends on the day?
Depends on the day. Definitely two industries that have so many similarities as far as the hours and what you need to go into it. Sorry, somebody was trying to call me. Probably wanting to place an order for something to go.
That's it.
But at the end of the day, music was my first passion and my true passion. I loved cooking food too. That was great, but I'm happy not to be standing behind a line in 120-degree heat. So.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Greg Norton's with us on Gorman in the Morning. When you guys first started playing in a band, I mean, was there a moment when you were, what was your original plan? What were you majoring in? I mean, I think most people think I'd love to be in a band, but that's never going to work. So what was going to be career path number one if there was another one?
Wow, that's a good question. So, Grant and I met. I was just out of high school. Grant was still in high school. Bob shows up his first year attending McAllister College. Mm-hmm. Hüsker was my first band. It was Bob's first band. Grant had, played in a couple of cover bands in South St. Paul, Minnesota. And, we just threw ourselves into it. And my mom kept asking when I was going to get a real job. And when we signed to Warner Brothers,
showed her.
Our lawyer was like, well, your son is gainfully employed now.
Yeah. Got a real job, Ma.
Was that a stressful time, the leap to a big label like Warner Brothers? Did you feel good about it? Was there any were you second guessing yourselves at all?
No, not at all. Zen Arcade got released in July of '84, and that's when the band started to, really attract the attention of major labels. And, we got a lot of letters, trying to convince us to sign with one or the other. Ultimately deciding to sign with Warner Brothers, Karen Berg, who signed us, basically, was like, we are artist oriented. We're not going to mess with what you're doing. You guys are doing everything that you should be doing. So we continue to, produce the records and do our own artwork. Granted, we probably, sure, we shed some fans, as, you signed with Warner Brothers. You guys are such a sellout. But,
right. Yeah. Oh, the 80s were fun like that.
Oh, yeah. But, the goal as an artist is you want to reach a broader audience,
Yeah.
You can cater to a very narrow group of fans to keep them happy, but that also then stifles you as an artist as far as growing. And Hüsker was definitely a band that kept evolving.
For sure. It feels, especially in hindsight now, it was just like this comet shot. It showed up, it just burned really brightly, and then it was gone. Did it feel in real time like it was really going? Did you guys have control of it? Did it get out from under you, just generally speaking, the whole ride?
I wouldn't necessarily say it got out from under us. We'd by the time we did sign to Warner's, we were seasoned, road warriors and constantly touring, constantly writing, just look at the output in 85. You know, we recorded.
Yeah.
New Day Rising drops in January. Flip Your Wig gets recorded in March. Comes out in September. We signed to Warner Brothers. We record Candy Apple Gray in October.
Yeah.
Plus going to Europe and England a couple of times and all over the U.S. So
an
stepping
amazing
up to
time.
Warner Brothers, it was we just had better infrastructure. It's like better support. Able to stay at nice hotels instead of
flea bags.
Flea bags, right?
It's amazing what a good night's sleep can do for a band on the road sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. It's.
I was one of many people who would have the conversation. You heard the new Hüsker Dü? It's like, dude, it's like 5 months old. No, the new one. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And then a few months later, hey, did you hear the new Hüsker Dü? What? Yeah, an amazing time by anybody's standards. Tonight at Grumpy's, 7 p.m., the Miracle Year release party. Greg is going to be DJing. There'll be a Q&A there. This box set, again, 4 LPs. 2 of them are the First Avenue show from January 30th. 2 other albums from various shows from 85 and a really cool booklet. It just looks fantastic. And these things are available as of today. When can someone come to down in the valley and pick one of these up, Stephen?
You can't buy it till tomorrow, release day, unless you come to the event tonight, and we'll be selling them early at the event. And we have,
There you go.
We have some of the limited edition blue vinyl that I believe is already sold out.
The blue vinyl sold out in 3 hours.
Nice.
So we have some copies of that to sell tonight, and we'll have some copies at the store tomorrow too.
We call that a dangling carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Greg, it's a pleasure to see you again, man. Hüsker Dü, I can't tell you just really what a joy it is to hear you're coming in. And for 40 years, thank you for making those records because they certainly meant the world to me. And I know to so many people listening out there, they feel 100%. The exact same way.
Thank you, Steve. Always a pleasure.
You got it.
We're always proud here in the Twin Cities of all of our music, and you guys are a big part of that. So I second that.
100%.
Gorman in the Morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the Morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.